Hello Internet, I am Firebolt and welcome to a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. Now, this is perhaps the most heavy RPG I've ever played because if you go up to people and talk to them after you've just been like in a battle or traipsing through a forest, they won't think much of you, and also if you've been all cut up and stuff, they'll maybe be more scared of you. So the way that you interact with the world is very important, and the way that you actually travel is way more important than in any other game. Right now I am actually hungry, so I'm going to go eat from this pot. You are allowed to just generally eat from pots. I'm not sure if that actually counts as stealing, but they don't seem to care. I'm not sure what's in this pot, it's just random stew. But anyway, I paid for sleeping here for the night because this isn't actually my house, this is just an inn. So you play as, that's my character, Henry. You don't get to choose who he is, he's got a set story, so it's less roleplay in that sense than something like Skyrim or Fallout where you very much pick your character and decide on their backstory, and I just realised I don't have any arrows equipped. And if you don't have any arrows equipped, you don't get to use them. Oh, and also I haven't got my shield on. Yeah, so you are a blacksmith's son, and that very much you begin to understand because really not a lot of people think much of you. Well, a lot of people, you get to begin to know people in different towns, and once you start doing stuff you get your reputation up a bit, but if you talk to nobility or like the guards and try and convince them that you're someone even remotely important, like they won't care. Combat in this is harder than any game I've ever played. And it's not necessarily because, like, there are harder games, like something like Dark Souls. The combat is easier, it's easier to kill things. You're up against a lot more enemies, and the actual aim of the game is to kill things. In each quest in this, you can take loads of different routes. So, generally, it's best to go diplomatically. Now, I will say, before I get into this, there will be a fair amount of story spoilers in this. Largely from anecdotes, but I might also decide to just go on the quest to decide stuff. Just from the outset, I'm not sure to recommend this game to you necessarily, because it might not be your thing. If you're not into that sort of thing, it's a bit like Skyrim. You kind of have to immerse yourself in the world to get something out of it. But if you are that sort of person, be aware, you might not leave your room for several weeks, because it does feel like you're in this world, even if, from what I understand, the team that made this was, not like indie small, but not exactly AAA. I think it's sort of what you'd classify as a AA game, so, there's a good 100 people working on this, I think, but not got a mass amount of money on it. So, one thing I will say is performance does suffer slightly. This is running on a PS4 right now. You can sort of see a bit of pop-in whilst I'm looking around, and there's a little bit of rough edges going around, but also just the load times are really fucking annoying, especially since the combat is so hard. Like, if you're up against somebody and they just keep killing you. What's more frustrating is having to wait 9 hours between fighting. That's a bit of an exaggeration, obviously. Yeah, there's also a few weird bugs that I've encountered, some of which are quite funny, but some of which just seem to be a byproduct of the mechanics in the game. For example, a quest that I did recently, actually involving that guy in the armor sitting over there, which I'm not going to talk to right now, but I'll do that in my own time. There was this wagon that got attacked, and there was this guy selling counterfeit coins there. So I started asking around to find out what happened, because I wanted to find out where these counterfeit coins were coming from. I found these, I think it was charcoal burners. This guy came up and punched one of them, because, the charcoal burners had helped one of the people that was, I think, selling the counterfeit coins, or at least I think it was a mercenary that was protecting them. So this guy was looking for that guy, and I wanted to ask him some questions. So I went off chasing this guy all the way to here, Sasau, which is half a way across the bloody map. Talked to him, and he said, okay, I'll tell you what I'm actually all about, and why I want to know who this guy is, but only in a private place. And I knew from a letter that I'd gotten previously that he was staying at this inn here anyway. So I'd gone to that place, waited a couple of hours. He was there, but he didn't actually have his armor on, weirdly. which meant that a fight that was probably supposed to be really hard, like, I won in maybe 5 seconds because his armor was just so weak because he was just getting ready to go to bed. Oh yeah, another thing about how heavily you roleplay this, like, normally, at least if I'm sleeping in my own bed, I didn't take them off for sleeping in this bed. Normally, I will take my clothes off before going to bed, just so I don't get dirt on my bed, but also so I sleep better, because there's a comfort meter in that, and I think that increases your health more. And to show you... Oh, that's not actually my horse. I thought that was my horse, Pebbles. Where's my horse then? Whistle. Where's he? I don't know. I just whistled for him and I can't see him anywhere. Oh, he's over there having some fun with that knight. Oh, Pebbles, get out of there. No thanks. Oh yeah, these are my mates. I'm actually meant to be finding work for them, because, well, to put it gently, our hometown kind of got a bit fucked by some big army, and that plays into what your actual main quest is, and those guys are now out of work because they're basically refugees, and the place that I'm living got a bunch of them, but these guys happen to end up here, and they're looking for work, so I might do that this time to show a little bit off of what's going on. I will probably get to the combat at some point, because there's a guy in my sort of hometown, Rate, because I've been helping out Noble, he's put me into service, so I'm taking residence in a castle that he's got in Rate. There's a lower castle and an upper castle, he's got the lower castle, and I've got a room there, but I've also got a room at a mill where one of my romantic interests is. I will say that there is another one that happened a little bit unexpectedly. I was fetching some... Well, there's this woman, lady, like noble woman in Talmberg, which is basically the first place you go after you get fucked up in your hometown. And she was quite nice to me. She'd like said about dealing with tragedy because her father's dead and all that. So I came back there because they saved my life later, some of them, to go and thank that guy that saved my life. He was like the captain guards there. And also just thought I might just have a little chat with her. And she said that there was a noblewoman's wedding soon and that she needed some gifts gathered because they were getting delayed for some reason. So I went and got the stuff. Some of them were a little bit tricky to get, and some of them were a little bit funny, like you had to sing to a horse at some point. Oh yeah, all the skills in this game are like ridiculously sort of real, I guess. Like there was a bit where there was a plague somewhere, and I had to make a remedy for them. Now, I'd said, because there was this guy at a herbalist's, I learned how to read, and reading in this game actually takes on, like, a interesting thing. You go to a certain scribe and learn to read, but all the letters get a bit jumbled up when you read, because you're still a blacksmith's son, so you're not entirely the best at reading still. But you can sort of make it out. So you had to find out what sort of cure they might need and what the cause of the problem was. And then he'd said, oh, well, we need to make a potion. Can you help with making that potion? I was like, yeah, this might be a good way to learn a little bit about alchemy. But no, he just fucked off to the actual town to see how everything was going and left me to do the alchemy by myself, which I failed twice and had to go out and gather the ingredients myself, including charcoal, which didn't grow outside the place. That was all actually happening up at, let me see if I can find it. I'll jump over this fence, you twat. Fine, go around. There's a monastery around here somewhere that I was doing that around. And they've got a little garden there that I was taking some herbs from to help with the potion. But I had to actually, because it was getting quite late, go find a trader out in this town, which took some time. But they were already shut, so I had to go to sleep, go find them in the morning, and then finish the remedy, which took a couple of attempts. But I'd gotten enough charcoal to get it done anyway. But that's ridiculously sad. Also, I can't lockpick during this. Like, for the life of me, I can't lockpick. I once got really close, but I'd never be able to lockpick successfully, even in the tutorial lockpicking bits, which was really quite annoying. And this was another slightly buggy thing. Because when you were taken to Talmberg, you're sort of told that you have to stay there because it's not safe going out with that big army going about. But you want to go bury your parents because, spoiler alert, they died. You have to get out of that somewhere. So the idea is that you're meant to steal a guard uniform so you can at least pretend that the guard's not gonna get in trouble. And he could say, well, I didn't actually know that this was the guy because I didn't see his face. So I went up to him and he was like, well, you need to get this disguise. So I went sneaking around the guard tower to try and get it. But all the things that I'd suspected the uniforms were in were locked, so I couldn't actually get into them. So after a while I decided, well, maybe I could just sort of knock out a guard somewhere in a secluded spot. Nope, that did not work. So they arrested me. But then I got let out of that town anyway, so it kind of worked. But now, I mean, I think I've mostly healed that reputation. Oh yeah, the thing about the nobleman's wedding. Yeah, well, she did take that quite well and gave me a gift of her dead father's shirt, which then she proceeded to fuck me in, which is a little bit awkward because I've got another girlfriend at the mill that I said about, who I also fucked, because Henry's a bit of a stud. But I do find it quite interesting how I don't know what would happen if I didn't do quests a certain way. There's another bit that, like, there's little bits that you can sort of pretend that the story sort of fits a little bit. Because I was looking for this mercenary to tell me where this camp was. And, well, someone told me, but soon after that, 4 quite heavily armed cutthroats came up to me and started asking about what she'd said to me because she wasn't telling them anything because I was being a bit nicer. Well, them being quite heavily armed, I tried to take them on a few times. They really did not take it well. So I told them where it was. I did try in my first attempt to tell them, but also help the guy so that I could question afterwards, sort of fight together and turn on them. But in the end, I told them, ran up to the place beforehand, ran up to where he was holed up, tried to sort of pretend that I was warning him, but in reality I just questioned him before they got to him, even though they were standing outside shouting at him whilst I was doing it. But it seems just whilst you're speaking to people, they just sort of are oblivious to everything else. So I sort of pretended that I was like, well, he didn't come with me anyway, so I sort of pretended that, like, he was gonna die anyway by the executioner, so if he didn't want to come with me, then they killed him anyway. He probably shouldn't have died. I mean, I don't think he actually killed anyone himself. But I'm trying to heavily play the moral thing because, well, at the mill, the miller takes you in, and that's where my girlfriend is, and the miller's her uncle. So he asks you to do a little bit of grave robbing, which, from what I gather, I'm very against because, well, first of all, in this region, Christianity is a very big thing. This is Bohemia, by the way. Yeah, I felt that my character would be against that, so I am sort of trying to play into this guy's morals, even if they're not necessarily my own, because it feels more... Because he is another character, he's not your character necessarily. But if you play him like he's that character, then he will be that way, I guess. I don't know, I've not actually tried just, like, living a dishonest life and just thieving random wayfarers, because I don't want to do that, because I'm aware these guys can fuck me up. Like, they are trained soldiers, and if there's just, like, 2 of them, you fucked, really. Like, once I managed to take on... I think it was once or twice I managed to take on a group of 4 bandits, but they were not armoured at all. That was, frankly, luck and a lot of running away and hitting, sort of hit and run sort of tactics, so didn't really matter anyway. Anyway, I'm going to go get into one of the side quests just to show you sort of what the... Well, first of all, like, the speech systems are about, but also possibly fighting later. Okay, backstory for the side quest I'm going to do. Like I said about Talmberg, the place where I fucked that noblewoman, who technically has a husband that I'm doing this quest for, but we'll ignore that. They have a quarry there, but the monastery being built here, which I still can't find. You'd expect it to be really big, but it's hidden behind these buildings somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what direction it's in. Is being built right now. A monastery is being built right now. But the stone from that quarry, they're saying, well, one of the blocks fell, so they're saying that it's a bad quality stone. So I went and asked around because that was making nobody want to buy. Oh, that's Monastery. That was making nobody want to buy this quarry stone. So the guy at Townburg wasn't too happy about this because it was sort of halting trade. So I have to go ask about and convince them, because I've got a piece of the stone that fell, that this isn't actually from that quarry and that something's gone amiss here, and figure out what that is, because there's a lot of sort of mystery stuff going about where you're trying to figure out who did what and who's where. And you do actually have to really listen, because if you go into your quest log, there's not really a huge amount it actually tells you. It just tells you your current objective. So you do have to actually listen. Like sometimes if you're getting directions somewhere, it won't log what the directions were. You had to listen to that and find that and remember that. And sometimes it will help you out a little bit, because sometimes I think it realises that it would be a little bit ridiculous to expect you to remember all of that for a very long way, like directions. But you need to find the start of that path, which you have to listen for. And there's loads of little pieces of information that you can just pick up here and there. And you do have to just kind of problem solve. The game doesn't really hold your hand whatsoever. Right now for that, I think I have to see a local knacker, whatever that is. It does help you out by telling you what various bits and pieces are, like what certain noble positions actually mean, and who are these people, and what did this occupation actually do. And, you know, social status as well, because this is, I think, 1400s, early 1400s, in, like I said, Bohemia, which is somewhere near Prague. And it's actually quite interesting looking at this, because it's quite a boring piece of history. Like, well, it's not the most boring, but, like, it's something that happened quite a lot. Like, this king gets kidnapped, which happened quite a lot in medieval times. This isn't like a big empire sort of thing. This was just another event. This isn't really ever, I think, even mentioned very much. Oh, he doesn't seem to like me. Why is the... Oh, is a knacker... Ah. Okay, to explain this dialogue option, another reason that they might be suspicious for that, why that fell, because it's very suspicious in these times, is that they found what they thought to be a devil's skull on the site of the monastery. So this guy took it out and dropped it off a cliff by accident. He didn't just purposely do that, but he was just going to throw it into the river anyway. So they believed that that might have cursed the stone, and that's why it fell. So we're trying to figure out what actually happened. It probably wasn't a curse, but we have to follow this up, because this is our only lead now, the devil's skull. Because the monk there seems to still think that the stone's from that quarry. It came in smaller chunks than like they'd ever sent it, so we're thinking they might have got swapped out, or someone might have stolen the stone and replaced it with something of a poorer quality so that they could get money or whatever. But anyway, we have to follow this lead because it's really our only lead on this quest. This is supposed to be a devil's skull.
People are saying it's the skull of a demon, but I don't know.
It certainly looks like it, with the horns and all. Well, let's see. Those are deer antlers that someone's fixed to this human skull. It's not a devil, just a bit of devilry.
I'm glad to hear it's not
the
real thing. Someone must have put it there deliberately.
Now, the chief scaffolder found this, so either he's to blame or someone else put it there and he still found it.
Even though it was lying in water. Whoever did this was skilled bugger, and no mistake.
Who could it be? I think it's going to be the chief scaffolder, Leszek, I think. So I'm going to go and talk to him. Yeah, like I said, this is very long load times. This is just saving the game. Because it actually has quite a weird save system. So sometimes it saves in, like, important points in quests. Or just when an objective is completed. Not every objective, but every couple of objectives generally. You can save while sleeping, or you can save by drinking a potion called Save Your Snaps, which is an alcoholic drink that saves the game. It's an interesting system, because it means that you do have to either go to sleep or have this potion around. Which means that you can't necessarily just leave it be all the time, because you only have a limited amount of that potion. But hopefully, you can leave it like after specific objectives and just sort of hope that you don't have to do something before then. Anyway, so I've got a quest marker here, B. Right, so I'll go into my quest log actually. There's a bunch of skills here, like stats and stuff. The way that this works is, like, every couple of levels, by the looks of things, you get to get a new perk, and it's levels for each skill. So you get general stats like these, which you can get new perks in, and also in combat you get different stuff, which generally is like different combos that you can get with different things. Like with the sword, I've got different things here, but I've not actually, I can't actually figure out how to do that very well. There's a guy that teaches you combat in Rate, where I am, and also you've got these other skills, which for some reason drinking is one of them, but yeah, like you get a proper drunk system. If you ride your horse a lot, you get that. You can go hunting. I've only been hunting once, and to be honest, I'm a shit archer, so maybe not doing that again, because you can't generally get close with a hunting sword. Alchemy I've only done once, which is really fucking hard. Herbalism's also relatively difficult. I mean, that's kind of similar to alchemy, but I think that's just more picking the herbs. Lot picking I cannot get for the life of me. Maintenance I've never actually done. That just seems to be actually repairing stuff. I think you can sharpen swords, but I've never actually done that. You do actually, like, all your weapons get worn down and stuff. If I go into a fight, my armor will get ripped up pretty much immediately. Like, it doesn't last long. The metal stuff will last a little longer, but, like, I haven't actually got enough money to pay for that, so, like, I'm just gonna have to piece together armor as I go. Pickpocketing I've never actually tried. I think I might have tried to get that uniform, but you can't really pickpocket an entire uniform. Reading's also a skill. Like, I still can't read Latin. I'm not sure if you can actually learn to read Latin properly. You can learn to sort of figure out what it says in Latin, but then I would assume you'd have to actually translate that yourself. So I'm not sure how that works. But you don't really need Latin too much if it's written in the common tongue. It's just translating Czech to English mostly. You can see there on the compass, now the directions do actually become very important for when you're trying to follow directions somewhere, that I've got my quests. The one at the top there's like main objective A, that's trying to find out about where those counterfeit coins come from. I'm not going to do that right now. The blue ones there, A and C. A I think is one of the monks, C might be about the devil's skull, and I can't remember what that would be. I think that might be another side quest I was doing. I'm going to go to the C objective to go and talk to maybe that scaffolder to try and figure out maybe he was stealing the stone. So now I'm in the vicinity of that, so you do have to search around a little bit. Sometimes I have had to look up where to look around. They don't mind me too much here, do they? Let's see if I can talk to this guy. No, he just still has the same dialogue options. My actual objective here is to ask the scaffolder if he put the skull there himself. So I need to find the scaffolder. But he's obviously going to deny that. But I might get to show off the system where you can threaten people, use your noble status, or I think the other option is just to use sort of general speech.
What? Vashik?
You can just eavesdrop on conversations as well. I haven't really done that too much, but I was sort of meant to do that a little bit for this quest. Now, where's the scaffolder here? He might be in the scaffolding. If you're not aware, stuff like this tends to take centuries nowadays, like cathedrals and stuff. There's still cathedrals being built that started in like the 1600s, I think. These take a long time to do them like this, like they were in the past. Oh, just fell. Yeah, you can see my stamina bar there and my health bar there. Also, to the side of those bars, you've got different perks. The one that you can see there is burger, not as in the food, as in I think townsman. I have a speech bonus when I'm near towns. Now I need to actually find this guy. Where could he be? Is he actually in the thing? Maybe that's him there. Zamola, I don't think that was it. Looking for Leshek.
Scaffolder.
I saw him. What do you want with him?
I want to talk to him about the head he dug up.
Really? That's interesting.
Why?
He asked me to meet him on the scaffolding tonight, so he can tell me something important. Said he wanted to confess something.
So he did have something to do with the skull. I knew it.
Maybe. But I'd wager someone made him do it. He doesn't seem the type to come up with something like that on his own. I'm planning to go and meet him. Will you come with me?
It will be safer with the two of us. I'll go.
So now I actually have to wait that time,
If I'm not down at the
or
bar,
go and do
then
something else until then.
Alright.
Oh yeah, you do also have loads of stats. So you have your health, that's pretty obvious what that does. Energy, if that gets too low, you take a hit to your stamina, and I'm assuming if that goes to 0, you'll pass out. Nourishment, I'm assuming you can actually start over, I've not actually tried. But also you can overeat, which it does give you a stamina debuff, and you might get fat after a while, I'm not sure. I'm not actually overeaten enough. But anyway, my nourishment's at 50 right now, so I can eat from this pot as well. So I have to come here after dusk, which here is after 9, because the seasons don't seem to matter much here. What time is it right now? It's actually just in the afternoon, so I might just go and, what should I do? I might just go on some adventures. I kind of want to stay in the vague area here. Oh shit, fuck. Okay, that doorway was too low for me and I fell off. Go through the big doorway and not the small one, lesson learned. Anyway, so what was that other quest I had? The red one. Murhoyed. That was where the plague was. I'd went there with a remedy. I went round to all the houses I could actually find with the sickness, but I don't think I got them all, so they might be a little bit mad at me. I'm just going to go check on them. I can actually fast travel, but the risk with fast traveling is that you're way more likely to encounter bandits. Although in a place where there's loads of settlements and farms, you're usually alright, it tends to be in the woods that they get you. There was also one time where I met like a mercenary that wanted to spar, but I didn't have enough money to bet with him, so I could potentially be attacked on this road. Luckily my health is actually high enough, I think, to do this. But if I don't come back at dusk, he might be a bit mad at me. I'm not sure. Sometimes the characters get a little bit mad at you, like my girl at the mill. I'd once just sort of walked off accidentally whilst I was meant to be going on a date with her, and she got quite pissed at me, so I had to wait a couple of days for that to clear up. But this is just saying wait for the situation to clear up, which is hopefully done. I mean, I've got a quest marker. I'm not sure if I had that before. We'll find out. I got this at Christmas, and this is, I think, the 30th of December. So I've probably played this for a day or two straight by now, because I've been entirely immersed in this world. Like, if any of the words I'm saying, like, you have no idea what they actually mean, like, I won't realise because I'm just sort of in that world. I think that's the bailiff there. Are you annoyed at me? I mean, he seems to be friendly, at least. How are you
How's it
doing?
looking, Melikar?
I'm glad to see you, Henry. I'd like to thank you again.
Oh, I did
Everyone is
cure
good.
everyone.
It's nothing short of a miracle.
Oh, that's a relief. You've suffered enough. We've all suffered enough.
God's truth. You know, the folk here are truly grateful. They'd have you and Nicodemus canonized if they could. They brought me gifts for the two of you. I wasn't keen on the idea at first. We're not left with much since the livestock died. But since you're here...
Oh, what gift? New level in vitality? Oh, I didn't see what the rest of those were. Thank him. I will take a gift, because I've not got a huge amount of money. Oh shit, 300 groschen. Groschen's the currency, if you don't realise. That's quite decent. How much money have I got right now? I could get a new pair of armour with that, I think. Well, no, armour tends to cost quite a bit, compared to just normal clothes at least. In the 1,000 groschen. 663.7 in... I mean, it might be enough to buy something from my arms to protect them a little better, but to be honest, it's not going to do much. I could probably fast travel again back there. It might take me until dusk actually to get to Sasau again, so I'll do that. I can sleep there for a bit, or just wait out at the inn, or just piss about for a bit. I'm also meant to find work for my friends Fritz and Matthew, like I said. They used to be carpenters, and they said that they'd like to work somewhere with wood, and also that they wouldn't like to do much work at all, but get money still. But that's besides the point. I might be able to help them, but I've asked around like the innkeeps and they just had little bits of rumours that haven't actually been quests. I haven't been able to ask for Fritz and Matthew. Maybe I'll go speak to them again. I'll get a little bit more of an idea because I've asked around a little bit already. So he said at dusk. So I can actually probably just wait there. How's my nourishment right now? 74. It'll be alright. And I'll go to sleep after this. Okay. Yeah, you just saw that like sometimes little bits and pieces glitch, but I still really enjoy the game for what it is, and I feel like for how... I mean, the map's not the biggest thing, if I go to it quickly. I don't know how far through the game I am, but like I've explored most of the map. There's a corner there that I haven't explored. I'm not sure if you can actually go to Prague. There's a few cities here and there that I've maybe not found, maybe a village or two, but like I've explored most of the map. Yeah, I still find so much in it that it feels like all of it's being new. Like I only recently came to Sasau kind of for this, but also I think for a quest somewhere. Can't remember specifically what, but I'll just wait here for... You can like do specific waiting, although in the last hour it slows down a lot, and you can stop this at any time, so I'm just going to make this a little bit faster by choosing 3 hours and then stopping it at 9. Okay, now it's not quite dark yet. You said, oh, it's come up with a D bit here. Go to the building site during the day.
You must be up to no good.
Oh yeah, I got arrested once for not carrying a light around in Rattay, which I thought they would just sort of have a little bit of a go at me, but no, they actually arrested me, and I had to spend 2 nights in a jail cell, which was not fun. Do I have to go up here? Oh, I'm afraid someone's going to get pushed off this scaffolding, but... And also, technically, I'm not really supposed to go inside the monastery, because, well, the monks don't like it very much, because it's like, oh, it's holy ground, and you're not allowed to see it yet. It says lockpick easy, it is not, even though easy, like... You have to find a sweet spot, but then keep that sweet spot as you turn the whole mechanism, and it's really fiddly. Really fiddly. Oh, I don't want to jump off there, though. This is the first time I've actually been quite high up, I think. Well, other than, like, castle walls, but I haven't really thought to jump off of those. You can fall down there. It'll take a hit to your stamina, and if your stamina hits 0, that's when, like, blunt weapons and stuff will actually hurt you. And, like, swings and stuff will take stamina, so if you do a bunch of swings and then get hit by a blunt weapon, that'll do damage. Same with unarmed stuff, generally. I can't actually get through that. They might be at the top. Go have a look. Oh, don't whistle. It's not very stealthy. Literally just climbing ladders right now. I don't think this is the way, because I'm not getting inside that area. I'm not sure, they might just have not arrived yet. So I'm just gonna wait like another hour, maybe. Oh, it's waited until 10. So maybe that's a specific time. Oh, brick's fallen. He doesn't want to be seen. And I think he's stealing the bricks. Well, stone actually, I think. Which it's either painted red or they've like done a special stone that's got red bits in it. I don't know. Okay, so I need to actually chase this guy up the scaffolding, which is not a good idea. The nights are very dark in this game as well. Like if I don't have my torch on, I can't actually see a thing. Like sometimes you get a little bit of light from windows, but like that's about it. Here he is. Shit. Okay, he wants to fight. I'm gonna get out my sword if I can. Oh, he doesn't want... He doesn't actually care. Okay, I'm gonna put away my sword so I can fight him hand to hand. Okay, this is a little bit of the combat. If you get up close to somebody, you do a little thing called a clinch. Okay, so you got slashes, and you can see there that there's like positions that you strike from. You can do something called feinting, which is when you hold to like do something and then switch direction, so you trick them with where they're wanting to block from.
Don't kill me. I'll tell you everything.
I'm relatively experienced, so I managed to beat him, but also I can hold my own against some relatively experienced soldiers, as long as it's like 1 or 2. Other than that, I'm fucked. And I'm pretty fucked even up against a really experienced soldier like that knight. Even in his bedclothes, he did quite a lot of damage to me. Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm just a worker here. He told me that if I take care of you, then he'll forgive my debts. I didn't want to, but he forced me to do it.
Now, the guy at Townburg thinks that the monastery are trying to get cheaper stone, so it might actually be one of the monks themselves that are telling this guy to do it.
Who sent you?
It was the master builder's helper. Young Smola.
What? He was supposed to be here as well.
He isn't. He went to the mill nearby when he found out Leshak was hiding out there.
Fuck.
Should I take him to jail?
What am I supposed to do with you? You tried to kill me.
I was aiming to miss. On purpose. I wanted to scare you off and then say I missed. Don't kill me, please.
I'm not going to kill him. Have you arrested?
I won't do anything to you. I'll leave you in the hands of the monastery law.
Thank you.
Because as much as medieval law is a bit fucked up, and I don't agree with the death penalty, it's kind of better than me taking it into my own hands or him just going free for trying to literally kill me. So I'm not sure if I'm going to just leave him in the monastery and tell these guys about it.
It was Molla, the master builder's apprentice.
I think I might.
How do you know?
He sent someone to kill me, who confessed he was forced to do it.
That's a serious accusation. And this man he sent, will he testify?
He can. I hold him here. He'll confirm everything.
And that's another good thing about not killing people like in the heat of the moment. You can get more information out of them.
Molla's also set out to kill Leshek, who's hiding from him at the mill.
We have to stop that happening. I'll send the guards. I just hope they get there in time.
I can go too. I'm not sure if this ever actually gets constructed in game time or it's just sort of perpetually being constructed. So as it stands, the objective I've actually got is catch up with Zamola and stop him. What's off of my horse already? I can't see him anywhere. He might have gotten stuck again. Oh, there he is. Pebbles. He's a bit of a ghost horse. Sometimes he'll just disappear and reappear so that he doesn't have to run halfway across the map to get to you, but yeah, whatever. Annoying thing about having a torch out is it means I can't actually get my shield out and I've actually now unequipped it because that's in the same slot. Well, it's in the same hand, so catch up with Zamilla and stop him. Have I already done that? Oh, I think the guards might have. Okay, so I now need to go to Townburg and inform that guy or go to the infirmary. Go to the infirmary. Was that here? Or is it actually like inside the monastery? Well, that's a locked door, so problem with this is that if I don't see like a drop somewhere, you can actually get a little bit stuck. Now, I'm going to have to go to Townburg, but I'm not sure if travelling through the day is actually safer than night. Because, well, some bandits won't attack at night, I don't think, because it'll be too dangerous. Ah, yeah, this is the infirmary here.
So this is what all your scheming came to. Lying here as deaf and blind as any corpse. Was it really worth it? If God is just, you'll die here without ever opening your eyes again.
Yeah, just let the monastery take care of it. Yeah, these guys are from Skalitz, my hometown, that got fucked up. Oh, he apparently just sleeps here. Insomniac here. Okay. He might be ill as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, this was where I did my alchemy. This was really fucking annoying. Because I didn't realise that boiling's a very specific thing. And if you boil it too much, it will have gone down like an entire turn of that hourglass thingy. Like, it'll take too long to cool down and it'll still be boiling. If you know what I mean. Anyway, I need to go and report to Sir Divish, the guy that Wi-Fi fucked, but I might talk to him about that briefly if it doesn't get my head cut off. I might get attacked by bandits, but hopefully they're not too well armed. But if I'm going through Mehoyed, I should be fine. I might be a bit tired when I get there though. It might be morning by the time I get there. And then after that, I think I'll finish up. I might go quickly to show what the actual like sword combat is in Rate. Yeah, I might have to sleep here a bit. I have got a bed here, just because he won't be up at this time of night. Oh yeah, you can just like wash yourself in random troughs. But if you want to get a proper wash and also heal your wounds and have your clothes washed, you need to go to a bathhouse. I'll quickly wash myself here, just so if I do have to talk to him about fucking his wife, then, you know, I'll have a little bit of a speech bonus, and I won't look quite as dirty. You might have heard that someone said, "Welcome, Henry," because around here they actually know me relatively well. because I've done a couple of things around here. So if you haven't been to an area lots, then they won't think a lot of you, but it's quite important as well. Also, if you do get into stealing, then you need to sell far away if it's valuable, so that no one reports to traders. And if it's really valuable, I don't think you can actually sell it anywhere other than like special black market traders, I would guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep for a little while, and I'll actually take off my clothes here because, well, not in a sexy way, but just so I don't mess up the bed. Sit down here. Now, I haven't actually damaged any of it because I haven't been in any combat other than that brief scuffle with that guy on the scaffolding. There we go. And then in the morning I'll go tell him about that. Probably 8 maybe. I'll also need to get some energy back. Then I can eat from the castle kitchens, so I don't starve to death. Oh yeah, if you're wondering why like you don't have to eat necessarily 3 times a day, well, I don't think that's necessarily a thing in this game, but also I don't have to eat as much because I've taken a perk called Ascetic, which means that I don't get hungry as much, but also, and most of the perks have a downside as well as an upside. If I do get hungry, I'll be like ravenous and really moody about it, so like the effects will be worse on me. And there's like another perk where you can get it so if you're sleeping in nice beds like this, you'll sleep better. Or you can get it where, well, because you grew up quite impoverished, you actually sleep better in like piles of straw pretty much. Yeah, a slight weird thing about fucking people is I can't now talk to Teresa about that, and I can't talk to her at all. Like she's not interested in talking to me. This is so divish. Even though we fucked. So it's a little bit weird with that. Like they don't seem to hold some moments as quite significant.
And the construction?
We'll continue. The Master Builder's helper was to blame for everything. With him out of the way, the work will run smoothly again.
That's good. You've accomplished your task admirably.
Kind of behind the
and I should reward
board.
you.
Thank you, Sir Divish.
Ooh, nice. Oh my god, a new suit of armor. Ooh. Okay, well, I'm gonna go travelling off to Ratte to show the combat off properly, and also maybe get a new bit of armor. Now, I might actually get attacked by bandits on the way here, because this is a relatively long journey. You can travel all of these properly, but it does get really grating after a while, and it's not like you're... I mean, you can come across little bits and pieces along the road, but to be honest, I would rather fast travel, because there's enough in the world. You can just ask, like, random innkeeps, like, is there any work going? Or, like, the bailiff, even. But you do need to have a little bit of experience to deal with bailiff stuff, I'd imagine. Oh, I'm gonna get attacked here, I think. Maybe? I've been holed up. Flee? Let's attempt to flee. I think I was successful. Cool. I don't have to deal with that then. Anyway, so first thing I'm going to do is go try and maybe get a new bit of armor, which might hold up slightly longer than my cuirass or whatever I've got on right now. Although the Dexter piece I've got the Waffen Rock, which shows sort of what house I'm from, which is... Well, I'm in the service of Sir Radzig Kobyla. All the names are still Czech, even though they sound like they're from fucking Game of Thrones. Oh, I'm a bit hungry. I'll maybe... Do I have anything on me? I don't think I do. I'll go maybe get some bread from the market if it's still open. The armourer and tailor are in the centre square around here. And that big building there, where the bailiff is also. Here's the market still open. You can still see little bits of pop in, but for the world it is, I'll forgive it. Okay, can you load in, please? Because this is really creepy. Thank you. Not quite, but doesn't seem to be dealing with the fact that I just fast travel across half the map. But it should maybe load in better. It just feels like it needs a little bit more optimizing. Let's talk trade. I would like some pretzels, actually. Let's take 10, because I'm greedy for... No, just... Yeah, sure, 10. Whatever. Check basket, 16. They're relatively cheap. You can haggle, which I'll show off briefly.
Let's talk about the price.
If you want to skim off a little off the top.
Alright, so...
But they have a patience, so you can't just forever haggle. So I'll bring it down to 14.
Is this enough?
Skim off 2.
Well, a little more, and we'll call it a deal.
If it's something really valuable, then like 2's gonna not really make much difference. 14.5.
Aye. For that amount, I can be persuaded.
So I managed to shave off 1.5 groschen. It's not really worth that much, but it's just showing off that system. For stuff like loads of armor, so like it might be worth buying in bulk, then 50 groschen might be a reasonable amount to skim off. Let's go eat those pretzels. Let's not eat too much of it though. Food here, pretzels. And as you can see, my nourishment is going up in that stat bit there. I'm not going to eat too much of this. I've eaten enough there. If I eat one more of that, I'll get fat. Anyway, call my horse. Oh, I also need to go see the armor here.
Lovely cucumbers, asparagus and prunes.
Great. Just go through this door. Still open? Nice. You can also get repairs here, and there's a tailor as well, which is a little bit weird finding out where they are because they're sort of in the middle behind this building, but anyway, let's talk trade. As you can see, armor is pretty expensive here. I've got 1.5k right now. Oh, that's nice. Wouldn't mind some nice pauldrons. Oh, that's expensive. Now, there was like a hauberk there. That's quite nice. It's not even that expensive. Don't mind if I do. Well, comparatively expensive. And, ooh, a German bat. Oh, that's too much. That's way too much. That's even more too much. But you can get like special bits that have got like really nice bits on them. Like that's way too expensive for me to ever buy, to be honest, unless I get like a castle or something. Or an Italian bassinet. You can get bits with masks on, but to be honest, that's too expensive. Milanese gauntlets, those could be nice, but I wouldn't mind like something like, oh, not plate pauldrons. Where were the pauldrons from before? Chaucers? Yeah, they're alright. Plate chaucers. Pauldrons are too much, I think. Oh, I could get some gloves. You can get a rider's cuirass, but that's too much, I think. No, I think that'll do. I've got enough in my basket right now. Check basket, and let's haggle a bit.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Alright, so.
Oh, that's quite a bit. Let's bring that down to 980.
What about this?
That's not enough.
Oh, he didn't like that. Bring it up to 1,000.
See now, I knew we'd come to an
There
agreement.
we go. That's how you haggle. Got 50 off of that one. Oh, I'm now over encumbered though. I can move some stuff to my horse, which I haven't done a great deal, but I should probably. But also now I don't need a lot of this, like a decorated caftan. Move to horse. Don't need it. I've now taken that off, so I am now wearing nothing there. But I can replace it with a hauberk. Ooh, and I can get padded chaucers on top of this. Oh, and that also... Nice, I don't have to wear any shoes anymore, which means they won't get worn out, because you have to see a cobbler to repair those, and that's really annoying. Which means I can wear my shoes for just doing nice bits. So now I'm a bit better armoured, and a lot more clunky. I'm still over encumbered though. I'm guessing armour is going to be like really heavy, that's why. I can move my light padded armour and hurt all that shit that I don't really actually need. Anyway, I think that's me off enough. Anyway, I'm just going to go and show off the combat with the captain, who might still be there, he might not. I might have to wait for him. Yeah, and I have to make sure not to run over anyone with this horse, because they might get a bit annoyed at me. I'm not sure if you can get arrested for that, but I'd assume it's similar to something like dangerous driving, pretty much, in medieval times, so... Oh, nearly killed a guard there, because he didn't spawn in. See, the pop-in does get a little bit annoying. But I just think it hasn't quite figured out that this is this bit yet. Like, that texture's really low until it's just... coped with the fact that I've moved across the map relatively fast, because the gallop's a bit too quick for the game by the looks of things. Anyway, this is the combat arena. Now, the guy, I think, normally comes in the morning, so I'll have to go and just wait, to be honest. Yeah, I'll have to wait, like, almost 24 hours. Oh, that's a lot of energy. I might have to just go and sleep that off, actually. Okay, so it's the next morning, and this guy's just woken up and come over here. Thanks to editing magic, you didn't have to see that. Anyway, I'm going to go talk to him and show off the combat a little bit with some practice weapons. I might have a little go with the real ones. And just go with a sword rather than shield and stuff. Bastard sword, I think, is a long sword. I don't actually use a long sword, I use a short sword with a shield. But I'll use a long sword. And he can teach you, like, new techniques. Like parries and perfect blocks. But you sort of have to move your sword in to where he's using it. So you can stab and also slash, and then in a clinch you have to sort of just mash it, I think. which is when you get close and sort of block whilst he's close to you. And you have to change your position to sort of surprise your opponent. Punch him, stab. See, I reckon I could actually take this guy on in a real fight, but I'm not sure if you can actually get him whilst you're practicing, and I'm scared to attack him because, well, he's quite important to the story, I think, but also I don't want to ruin my reputation, and there's a lot of guards here. Block and parry. Oh shit. See, he can parry a parry by the looks of things because he's quite skilled, but most bandits won't be able to do that. Oh, dodge there. You can dodge out the way as well when doing a sort of perfect block. Punch him and then stab. And then block, shit, stab. See, I've actually gotten relatively good at this combat over the last few days because I've been doing it practically constantly. And you do have to really practice to get good at it. Like, I've been to this guy daily pretty much. Well, when I'm not off on doing a quest and just waiting around. Or travelling. Ah, shit. Stab him. Shit. Motherfucker. Shit. I'm not going to pick favourites between this and Skyrim because they're very different games. That's very much fantasy and I enjoy immersing myself in that world. But it does feel like the combat's a little bit just sort of swinging a sword at something until it dies. And it doesn't feel like it's actually more skill, it feels like numbers. And whilst armour and your weapon do play a part in how well you do, it's more the skill of who you're up against, but that's more likely to be equivalent to their armour. But sometimes you'll come up against a pretty well armoured bandit that maybe just got lucky. But they won't be as skilled, so they're still easy enough to take out, even though they've got worse, well, they've got better armour than you. But like that knight, he could have fucked me up if he actually had his armour on. But it was just like that he happened to glitch out. But all of this in a real fight, like, I might be dead by now, I don't know. It's hard to tell when you're just doing practice weapons. I'll try with a real weapon, but I'm gonna get wounded and I'm gonna have to deal with that myself. There's also combos that you can do, but I haven't really figured out just, oh shit, with that. So it's, oh, shit. And you get new perks just by actually practicing rather than it being sort of, you just get to level up whatever skill you choose, you just have to actually do it. Which makes sense, it's a bit like Skyrim in that sense. See, I think I can just about hold my own against this guy, so I might want to try it with real things, but not sure how useful this will actually be in my real combat, because I use a shield and a short sword, but it's still a sword and you get the same perks for a sword. I would like to try like halberds, poles, that sort of thing, as well as an axe at some point, but I need to just master the sword right now. Okay, I'm going to surrender for now.
Stop! Hear me! Stop!
He still attacked me. You can't generally surrender to bandits and the like unless they want money, but guards you can generally do that. Real weapon, come on.
I want real combat with real weapons.
A bit cocky, ain't you? But all right. I like a man with a bit of piss and vinegar in him. I'll never learn as much with a wooden sword as with a real weapon. The old master swordsman says a true apprentice of the martial art should be wounded at least once. Some say he should even try what it's like to die. But that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I might die.
Let's fight then. Have no fear, I won't kill you. But you might get
Archers are
hurt.
fucking
I won't
annoying in
vanish.
this game.
You'll have to deal with the consequences yourself.
And they go in high up positions, so when stairs don't quite work, which sometimes they have a little bit of trouble with, like, you're not going to have a good time. Generally, it's good to lure them down to a lower position where they'll start fighting you hand to hand, because I cannot fight back with a bow. Let's use a longsword. Don't know why it's called a bastard sword. I mean, Jon Snow, I think, uses it a lot. Ooh. Oh shit, I'm already... See? But that didn't actually do any damage to me. Well, it did a little... Oh, he's freaking out now. See? Oh shit. I need to... See, I managed to parry there. Jabbing into him. I need to chain your strikes together once you've actually got a hit in. Oh, punch him. Stab. Hit. Oh shit. Taking a bit of damage. Oh shit.
Oh dear, did that hurt?
See, it's really weird him being here because he's quite an important character and he's an American, as you can probably hear. And he doesn't try to do the English accent that the rest of the cast seem to have. Also, Brian Blessed's apparently in this game, which I haven't met yet. I don't think. Oh, he might actually be the lord of this place because he has quite a boomy voice. Punch him. Stab. 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 Oh, didn't hit any of those. Faint. Shit. Ooh, block, 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 block. Oh, shit. You see, I've injured my torso there. Punch him. Stab. Stab. Slash. Block. Get ready to block. Oh, and then kick him and... Missed. Shit. Punch. See, I'm actually fairly competent, and this is a very skilled soldier. I'm not sure if you can actually make him surrender. Oh shit, he did quite a bit of damage there. As you can see, he's also got quite good armor, so he might just not generally... Oh shit, I've got very low stamina right now, so that does quite a lot of damage when he does even just hit me in the armor instead of slashing. Oh shit. See, if I start bleeding, I might actually bleed out. Oh, my hand's also now been injured. But when you're in a battle with several people, this gets really fucking difficult. Although none of them will be as skilled as this guy generally. I mean, the people that you'll be facing maybe towards the end of the game I haven't gotten. Like, I think I don't know, maybe halfway through the story, I don't know. I've been playing it for a very long time and I don't see it ending soon. Ooh, missed. There we go. Bastard. Okay, get my stamina back so he didn't hit me. Oh shit. Get him. Slash. Ooh, did I actually beat him? Motherfucker, I beat you. I actually beat, like, fucking hell, that's the first time I've done that. I beat the captain. Get fucked. Get fucked, I'm better than you. You taught me. Student becomes the master. Bullshit. Haha. You see, for ages I didn't know how to actually do that clinch thing. I just assumed that it was just chance, but you actually do have to click a little bit in that. But now, I think I could actually hold my own in a great deal of fights. Although when you're facing up against 2 or 3 of the guys, you still got quite the challenge. And right now, like, that's taken off a fair chunk of my health. So if you're going into a fight like that with half health, you're kind of fucked. But I've actually managed to be a very skilled swordsman there. He might have been going slightly easy on me, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here and go to the bathhouse myself. Anyway, so yeah, this does look like your sort of thing. Make sure you don't have any important things to do, because you might get obsessed with it. But some people don't like that very slow sort of realistic thing, and sometimes it does wig out, which might annoy people that are very, very into that and very much care about that. But you sort of have to sort of make up your own story about how that actually went, sort of, sometimes, and pretend you have to sort of be in the mind of Henry, because when someone says, "Oh, hi, Henry," you don't say hi back. Not say that out loud, but mentally say, "Oh, that's nice, hi." I guess, if you want to really roleplay, but you don't have to. And if not, this is actually a very good combat game as well. And the first battle I was in was very good, although I died an awful lot. I've been Firebolt, and this has been Kingdom Come Deliverance. Bye. I once aimed a bow at this guy and he really freaked out because I was trying to beat him one-on-one, but I just did it there, so fuck you. What will he say if I draw my weapon here? He doesn't care. He knows his place.